We're
So,
live, we're
syempre,
live. All right.
live for another episode of HR Shouts and Whispers. And syempre, episode number 80 na tayo, di ba? And ang pag-uusapan
Yeah.
natin ngayon, the functions of HR management. Syempre, my name is Ken Somera. Isa ako sa mga host ngayon. Kasama natin si George Ramos. Hi,
Hey,
George. And
evening,
syempre, ang
evening.
main host natin for the night, syempre, Cristina Reclamado. Hi, Chris.
Hi Ken, hi George. So this evening, okay, we actually invited Mr. Fave. Hi
Yeah.
Conrad.
Hi,
Everyone.
Conrad. Yeah.
Hello, George. Hello, Ken, and all our listeners and watchers.
Yes, so actually Conrad, okay, so the gang is here. Okay, so si George nandito and then si Ken. So
Wow.
yes, and I think you've been busy this week. So what have you been busy with? And if you're seeing clients, what are their questions to you?
Yep, busy, yes, with clients. We're preparing at least 4 webinars for our clients. And I've been busy getting in touch with them. And also Southeast Asia Speakers Bureau, which is my marketing partner. So we're quite busy getting in touch with them regarding our clients and our webinars. And what do they ask now? Well, really, webinars that are related to the pandemic also, which have to do with how people will cope with the pandemic and still be effective in getting things done and getting their results achieved.
Okay, so
That's
this
it.
one, yes, thank you, Conrad. Okay, I'll just cut short,
Welcome.
okay, and then make a shortcut, okay, because people have been asking me because if they have budgets, they actually did their budgets, and they want their budgets approved by the owners or the or top management, okay. So, what's the most effective way to have it approved, Conrad?
The most effective way for me, well, based on my experience, because I've been in the corporate world for 27 years, and the first thing is you should have the trust and confidence of your of your CEO, president, and of course, to earn that trust and confidence, you must have the competence, and you must deliver what the boss expects or even exceed the expectations. If he asks you to give something tomorrow, you give it this afternoon. Wow, bilis. Or if he wants you to do this, 1, 2, 3, you do the 1, 2, 3, but you add a fourth and a fifth element, so, or two or more elements, and say, wow, so you exceed the expectations. And if you exceed the expectations, you earn the trust again. So it's both. And of course, you must be reliable. When you say something, you have to deliver it on time or even before deadline. So that's and when things go that way, they see that you're competent and you're reliable, you have the character and the integrity in what you're saying, they trust you. And of course, when there is trust, there is speed and there is approval.
Okay,
Right.
Conrad. Okay, so si George, matagal ka na nagpapa-approve ng budget. What's your secret?
Ayan. Thank you. Ikaw talaga, quiz namin. Topic na yan. Sige. Pag-budget for me, I would agree with what Conrad said, no? Yung kailangan may trust yung boss mo, no? Pero ako, I would also look at it this way. For you to be able to gain that trust, sabi nga niya, you should have the competence. Ano yung exact competence na kailangan? I think the competence that's necessary is to be able to influence your stakeholders. No? So when you're able to influence your stakeholders, there are three things na pwede mong gawin. Number one, you should be able to present the data. Diba? So yung data, dapat talaga malinaw yun. Pangalawa, when you're presenting the data, you're getting the data, you should be able to articulate that data clearly. Ayan. So yung pag-articulate ng data dapat malinaw sa kanila. Tapos yung pinaka-third natin, more than anything, is to be able to negotiate your way. Kasi sigurado merong mga disagreements yung mga boss mo eh. Hindi naman lahat pwedeng kunyari. Masyado mahal yan eh. Di ba? Paano mo i-negotiate yun? So ang laking, yung skill naman na yun, kay Ken nakukuha yun. Kasi yung persuasion and all that, negotiation. So, three things eh. Talagang yun, competence talaga, very very important yung aspect na yun.
Yeah. I have a story about that, when I was very new at the Transnational Diversified Group, by then there were 3 divisions, and I belonged to the corporate office, and one division head sort of was competing with the head office, and he usually turned down the initiatives of the head office. But the head office has to come up with corporate or group-wide initiatives. And to cut the long story short, I was able to win the confidence of that dissenting division president at the time. And he said to the head of the corporate center, the CEO, that, wow, now that we have Conrad here, and it seems that we can now agree on many things. And of course, as you said, you can only do that if they really believe in your competence, especially if there's a competing division, and even if what you're presenting is really excellent, they just want to find holes in it, just because it's coming from your side, So that influence has to be win-win. You must also show the benefits to all involved, and as you said, influence them in a nice way and in a persuasive way. And if you can do that, you don't only get the approval of your own boss, but the approval of division presidents or other general managers.
So, trust, okay, and then
Right? Competence,
influence, in
influence, yeah, characters, yeah, because they
okay,
have
and
to
then
trust you, and if you don't have a good character, they won't trust you. They will
and
say
then
you're just after the benefit of your group, not our division.
mahirap talaga pag malaking kumpanya and then a lot of departments are
Yeah, it's
competing for the budget.
yeah,
Okay.
because transnational is a conglomerate,
Mm-mm.
many
So,
companies.
so Conrad, okay, so we actually had this episode because you know that line managers and HRs are usually clashing. Okay, so what can you say
Yes,
about
yes.
that?
First, that's not a good thing. They should they should not be clashing, because
They should be working
but
together.
as you said, but if it happens, so ideally that should not happen really. If the corporate culture has unity and has win-win mentality, and everybody trusts each other, it's teamwork, So it should not happen, because the way I see it is, doesn't really matter if your line, your staff, your support, your back office, your front office, we're all one team, right? We're all one group. We're all one organization, whether small or big. There should be unity and teamwork and synergy. That's the idea. But as you said, sometimes it happens. Okay, it happens. Sometimes it's kind of complicated. There's no one answer or no one solution. But maybe let's take the first three solutions. If that happens, there's a conflict between line managers and HR. Of course, there should be a dialogue. You know, in our group, we teach the 7 habits of highly effective to everyone. You know, to everyone. So that's part of the standard training and enculturation. So part of the 7 habits is be proactive
Mm-hmm.
and think win-win and listen first, seek first to understand, then to be understood and synergize. So if these values, these habits become embedded in all everyone from bottom to up, from top to bottom, you know, so you can just easily tell everybody, hey, why is there a conflict?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you applying the 7 habits in your work? How will we apply the 7 habits here? Well, that's one. So another one, so dialogue and use the 7 habits, your frameworks for unity and synergy of everybody. And of course, it can be initiated by the CEO or the head. You know, the generic term for the leader is a head. You know, so you can be the head of a conglomerate, you can be the head of a division, you can be head of a company, you can be the head of HR, you can be head of operations. Head is the generic term.
Yes.
The topmost head must talk to the lower heads and say, hey, why is there a conflict? You know, you're mature, you're old individuals, you're wise. Come on, let's talk. Let's settle it. You know, so that's another way of doing it. You know, it's leader led, head led by the head, and of course, if they don't cooperate easily, if you have the values of unity and synergy, you can easily tell anyone, line manager or HR manager, hey, why are you not living our value? Right? So there should be values, right? There are corporate values. And when we hire people, ito na papunta na stage, when we hire people, it should be people with the same values, right? And if they lack
Yes.
some values, we teach them or we encounter or we tell them the benefits of having this value. Like you see, until now, I remember the 6 basic values of the transnational group. See, it's embedded. You know? Honesty, hard work, unity, respect, discipline, and I said 6, excellence.
So, pag
This is,
transnational,
dapat alam nila lahat yun.
mm,
These are the
tsaka
values.
malaki, malaki at tsaka they
And
should be
yeah,
working as, together. I mean, the units are working in unison together.
yeah, because one of the values is unity.
Mm.
So how can anyone violate that? And if you violate that, it's very clear and it's very easy. Hey, we only have 6 values and you're already violating one of them. But we also have the values in the culture. You know, I still also memorize or remember the key elements of the culture because we coined it into mass secure. Mass secure ka sa transnational. And of course, those letters stand for something. Like M stands for mission focus.
Mm-hmm.
A for attitude,
Mm-hmm.
positive, proactive attitude. S is for speed, became agility now, right? Speed. We then call it speed. Sense of urgency. I know all these things because I was part of the training team.
Mm-hmm.
So C is character. See, must secure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other C is commitment. So you must be vested and committed to the organization. U again is unity. See, and R is renewal, constant renewal. You know, you have to keep on sharpening the sword. That's seven. That's the seventh habit. Sharpening. So it's in R renewal. And of course, E again is excellence. You must exceed expectations and excel in everything you do. So you see, if everybody knows that, if they know the six basic values and they know they must secure, hey, who's gonna be fighting? Line managers? No, you're a team. You should support one another. Although, by definition, for me, HR is support
Mm-hmm.
and line is delivery.
Yes.
Operations line, you deliver, you handle the products and the services, and you deal with customers. Front line ka and product line ka So line, line managers. Basically, HR. Teka, I'm getting ahead of my presentation.
Yeah. So without, preempting your presentation, okay, so we'll shift to
Yes.
George. George, do you have a question?
Yeah. Oh, very ako lang kasi na-intriga ako din sa kay Conrad no, yung kanya I think I saw before way back sa PMAP pa siguro.
Mm-hmm.
Naalala ko kasi he was presenting at one of the GMAM sa PMAP. You were presenting about TQM. Way matagal na eh.
See. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm also a TQM and a ISO advisor.
yeah.
Because
So
I
yun
was the
lang.
chief quality officer.
Mm.
Yeah. So one thing that I'd like to ask you, siguro, because of that, I remember that presentation pa eh. For now, with what TQM can do right now to HR, anong pwede niyang magawa for HR? What do you think might be a very good application of TQM? Or if not exactly the whole TQM concept, siguro parts of it sa HR practice ngayon sa pandemic,
Okay.
anong pwede nating mapulot?
Quality and quality. So total quality management. I just talk about the five. There are basically five pillars of TQM, right? So one is customers, exceeding customers' expectations. And then there's total organizational involvement. That's where HR should be. Organizational involvement. You have to involve everyone. That's why I was emphasizing everyone. We taught the seven habits to everyone. We taught ISO to everyone, right? And we were about 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, so, and we were 30 companies. All right, so we had to teach to everyone. That's a key part of TQM. It's not just the exceeding customer expectations, but also everyone, empowering everyone, involving everyone, para everybody is on the same page. Para yung somebody is working here, somebody can support because they should be working for the same goals and objectives. You may be doing it different and you may have different jobs and tasks. Yes, because there's division of labor. But we're all building a car. For example, hey, come on. You may be the painter, you may be the mechanic, you may be the accessory guy. Hey, but come on, we're building a car.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody must be focused on the goals. So later on, diba, we'll be talking about the UBGs and all that. And what else? I said five pillars, right? Process improvement, right? Process
Mm.
improvement
Process
is
involvement.
part of it. Process approach. Okay, constant Kaizen. And who will study and do these process improvements? People. So HR is involved with people. So people must be taught how to make improvements. You want us to make improvements? Teach us. How do we make improvements? How do we form improvement groups, or what they call quality circles or quality improvement groups? Right? So you teach us. How do we do that? We may be hearing it. How do we do it? How do we effectively do that? And HR can start the teaching and training of everyone and then conduct a competition. You all, okay, we teach you how to make quality groups, quality circles, quality improvement teams. Now, show me who is the best. And we give rewards, right? We gave 100,000 as rewards, 200,000, yeah, because we were a big group. for the best. And trophies, recognition night. We had a quality day to recognize the best improvement teams. You know, so and it's a whole. So the total organization, this processing. So these pillars, they go together.
Mm-hmm.
They go together. They don't stand on their own. That's why they're called pillars. When you have a house, you have five pillars, and one of them falls down. The whole house is in risk, in danger, right? So these are the five pillars, you know. And what else? The customers, the employees, and of course the financial should be financially sound, you know, financial soundness. So the process improvements and the people empowerment, they combine together to satisfy the customers, and if customers are satisfied and they multiply and they are loyal, you have profits.
So,
It's a
Conrad, for
consequence.
yes, for the benefit of our viewers who are not
Did that
familiar.
answer your question, George? So TQM can be used by HR. You know, yeah, they use the empowerment, the total engagement, and the exceeding customers. They train it, right, and they help in the process improvement. So that's just
Yeah.
Yes.
okay,
So,
Chris. Sorry, Chris.
yes, yes.
Yes.
I was just like just trying to show something for the benefit of those who are actually
Yeah.
not familiar with the five pillars. So I tried to surf, okay, on Google and just
Yeah,
show,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
an
yeah.
example of the five pillars of
Mamaya 6 yung
TQM.
papakita mo.
Oh, five to. Yan. So this is
Okay,
it.
at least tama ako.
So that's the five pillars of
Okay, oh,
quality.
yes, the customer is the exceeding the customers. Kuan, di ba? Yun yung total involvement, yung sinabi ko sa iyo.
Mm-hmm.
Total organizational. Okay, there's measurement. That's part of the metrics and measurement. Okay? And then systematic support, that's all the support. Yung continuous improvement, yun yung sinasabi ko rin, process improvement.
Yes.
Continuous process improvement. All right.
So
Great.
just for, yes, we just tried to
Thank you very
show
much.
them so that they can visualize the five pillars of quality. So there.
Quality.
So
Okay.
thank you,
So
George and
they
Conrad.
must take care of the five pillars.
Yes. So, anyhow, okay. So, kasi, ano na, excited na si Conrad. Kasi nadudulas na nga tayo sa mga keywords ng presentation niya. But, so, today, okay, so we're going to have a revisit, as we said, of the functions of HR management. And we will give the floor to Mr. Conrad Favorito for his presentation.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. So let me share my screen. This will take a while, I suppose. So tell me when you see the first slide.
We can see the first slide already.
All right, that's the first slide. So that's the cover slide. This is my first point. I want to get straight. What's really HR management all about? So what's the main purpose? And for me, the main purpose of HR management is also the main accountability of the HR head. That's why I'm using the word head, because the head can be a vice president, can be a director, can be a manager. So whoever is heading, because you see, companies can be small, SMEs, medium, or large, or conglomerates. So we have a whole spectrum of company size. And some have, they are heading only or leading 10 people, while others are leading 10,000 people. So the spectrum is quite wide. But we have to see the essentials or the common denominators, whether small, medium, or big. So the main purpose of HR management and or the main accountability of the HRM head is to take good care. It's a keyword there, or keywords of the organization's people. So we call them so many ways. talents, employees, workers, team members. These are people. So that they, in return or in turn, will proactively, voluntarily, and happily, not forcefully, not forcefully, they happily and voluntarily also take good care of the organization and its goals, its assets, interests, customers, and relevant stakeholders. See, for me, you have to bear that in mind. That's the main purpose of HR management. For me, as I learned, because I learned from a great school also, the Asian Institute of Management, and as I experienced, because I've worked for 27 years in different, in at least three conglomerates, the last one being the transnational conglomerate. So it's the main purpose of HR management, really. And since I mentioned that the people should also take care of the goals of the organization, what are the common ultimate business goals? We call the UBGs. Okay? I invented this, by the way, based on 27 years of experience. Okay. I've been part of the strategic planning group of transnational for 30 companies. So 30 companies, and we did it for, I was there for 15 years. Imagine how many strategic plans I was with, or I coordinated with the various companies. So this is what I learned. They all have their goals and aspirations, but after a while, I said, well, what are the common things that they are really wanting? And these are the six ones. You can add if you want to add, but these are the six basic, ultimate business goals. Please remember, these are business goals. Huh? These are not CSR or social goals. Others may say, we're CSR. Right? That's part of CSR. Business goals. Right? Because the first CSR of a company is to be profitable. Why? Because if you're not profitable, you can't pay your employees. And if you can pay your employees, how can you do CSR, corporate social responsibility works? How can you donate to society? How can you give money to society? You can even pay or promote your own employees. So you have to be profitable. So for me, profitability is not just something that the owners want. No, it's a responsibility of a company. If you're a company, you're using resources, you must be profitable because you have to create profit not only for the owners, but also for the employees and for later on for the community. You can do CSR, right? So profitability, and of course you all know that's the financial aspect, right? For those who know the BSC, Balanced Scorecard, that's a financial perspective. Second is growth. But lahat, they want to grow. They want to increase. They want to expand. They want to diversify. They want to grow into a conglomerate. That's growth. Whether you're growing in sales, you're growing in profitability, you're growing in market size, number of branches, number of products, that's growth. See, that's growth. Growth in many aspects. And growth, you're growing and expanding, and of course, you become more profitable. So again, all these six are related. But of course, we are emphasizing them because there are distinct qualities of all these elements. The third one is competitiveness. Everybody wants to be competitive. That's why you have TQM. That's why you have ISO. That's why you have training. This is competitiveness of employees. Growth. And you want your employees to be world class, to be very competitive in the market, because that's a reality. There is competition. There is, unless you're a monopoly. Of course, there are monopolies. That's why, the monopolies are not competitive. Like the government. The government is a monopoly. That's why it's not competitive. Monopoly. Because they don't have competitors. But if you have competitor, you must be competitive. And you must be competitive not just locally, but globally. You want to be globally competitive. That's one of the goals of the transnational group. to be globally competitive in terms of people, in terms of products, in terms of markets. See, so competitiveness. So as I said, there are a lot of sizes, different sizes of companies. So depends on whether you're small, you're medium, or you're already big and large. And so your goals will be kind of a little bit different, but they all point to these six UBGs. The third, the fourth one is, of course, process efficiency, flawless execution. They call it, sometimes they call it flawless execution, zero waste, zero defect, Six Sigma, because of process efficiency. And why are you doing process efficiency? Not for its sake, but to save on costs, to be more competitive. And if you save on costs, you are more profitable, right? And if you have very efficient processes, even your people are happy. They want, wow, I'm very efficient here because our systems and processes are very efficient. So they also feel happy and glad to belong to an organization with efficient processes, right? Some say effective and efficient processes, but basically processes are for efficiency. Effectiveness is more for profitability and competitiveness. Okay, and of course, sustainability is the fifth one. You want to sustain your success. You want to sustain your growth. You want to sustain your profitability. Because it's not good. You are profitable, growing, competitive, and efficient for 3 years, and then on the fourth year, fifth year, everything declines. There's no sustainability. And this is where the challenges come in. Like now, during the pandemic, this is a real challenge on the sustainability of businesses. See, businesses which were profitable and competitive in 2019 suddenly felt challenged in the sustainability aspect in 2020 when COVID-19 hit, right? So now many people, even some of my clients are asking, the webinars and the training they are asking from us is, how can we go back to being competitive and sustain our business? So this is the sustain. So every business wants to be sustainable. Okay? This is partly survival and partly growth. To be sustainable, you must survive first, of course, and then you thrive. So survive and thrive. Okay. So, but COVID-19 has been a very great challenge to surviving and thriving. And of course, last but not the least is customer loyalty, customer delight, they call it, customer satisfaction, customer retention, customer loyalty. So if you have loyal and happy, satisfied and contented customers who will even act as your ambassadors of goodwill, then you're doing well. Everybody wants customer satisfaction. That's part of your ultimate business because, again, it contributes to growth and profitability. So as I said, I broke them down into 6 UBGs, but they all go together. They all go together. Okay? So again, why are we pointing this out? HR. Hey, HR people, don't forget the UBGs. You're heading HR, you're doing HR also to contribute to the attainment of profitability, growth, competitiveness, process efficiency, sustainability, and customer. If you forget that, then you're disconnected. You're disconnected. You won't last long, and you won't be relevant to the organization. If you lose connection to these UBGs, you must be, whether you're HR actually or your line, you must all the time be connected to these UBGs. That's the key there. To be effective and to be competent. See, you must know this. It should be always at the back of it. And if your bosses or the heads see that you are doing that and you're aware of this, wow, they say, hey, here is a very good manager and a very good leader. He knows. All right. HR management is both a science and an art. There are theories, fundamentals, frameworks, essentials, best practices, and historical lessons to be learned. Marami yan. There are plenty of them. And I'm gonna show you several frameworks of HR management or the functions of HR management. Just to see you, there are a lot going around. But all these have to be expertly and effectively mixed, customized, and applied. Because, as I said, your organization is unique in size, in culture, in values, in customers. They must be mixed, customized, and applied to the actual, your actual organization, your own situation, your own environment, your own people, and your relevant stakeholders. In ISO 9001, 2015, relevant stakeholders are already called relevant interested parties. But since not many are familiar with the term, so I still use relevant stakeholders, or what we call the context of the organization. See, that's the key word there, context. What is the context of your organization? If you are a manager or a leader, HR manager, line manager, you must know and master the context of your organization. And then adapt and apply all that you do and all that you need to the context of your organization. It's like a doctor. He knows so many things, but when there is a patient, that patient is unique. You must know the context of the patient to be able to cure him or her and strengthen him or her, right? You know so many, a lot of experience, but then you have to look at the uniqueness of the patient or of the organization. So, right, so I'm showing you now some frameworks. So the first one, which I use in the first slide, of course, so there are four functions here. So we start with four functions: source, align, learn and develop, and reward. Source, align, learn and develop. Four functions, four basic functions. But there's a breakdown for each and every. So source will include recruiting, workforce planning, um, taking care of the brand and succession management, etc. Hindi lang yan. Ano? We're just showing examples. On the aligning, you have onboarding, strategic planning and goal alignment and performance management. On the learning and growth and developing, learn and develop, there's the 360 feedback or 360 degrees assessment, coaching, mentoring, training, leadership development, management development, professional and career pathing, etc. Okay, this is not exhaustive yet. We're just showing here a sample framework. And on the reward, so you have reward systems here, benefits, salaries, total rewards, recognition programs. Like I mentioned, we have quality day, quality awards. But beyond this, there are four guiding principles. That's competencies, diversity and inclusion, and engagement of people, and retention. So these are the guiding principles enveloping the four main functions. So I like this framework. It's a good framework. But I'll show you more. So let's start with the four. This is one framework, just four. See, just four basic functions of HR. So it's easier to remember. So staffing, training and development, compensation, administration. So it depends again on the size of your organization. Sometimes this is just headed by one HR head, if it's a small company. But sometimes it's a big conglomerate already. There is a sort of staffing head or an HR manager. There's a training manager. Compensation is under the finance manager, and administration is under an admin manager. You see? So the four basic functions are under managers because the company is big or the group is big. So it depends on the size also, and the needs and the context of the organization. So I already introduced you to the context. Depends on the context of the organization. So staffing can include HR planning, employee socialization, job analysis, recruitment, selection, placement, onboarding, transfer, promotion, etc. This is not exhaustive. These are just examples. Training and development, of course, can include employee training, management development, leadership development, career development or career pathing, performance evaluation, monitoring or review, transition planning, or rotation. In transnational, we call this rotation program. See, we had the rotation program. Because there were many member companies. So you can be a HR manager in one and then you're rotated to another company already as the general manager. So you are promoted and rotated. So it could happen. So compensation, of course, is the reward system. Compensation and benefits, motivation, salaries and wages, job evaluation, pay and benefits, discipline. Although sometimes discipline is put under administration. So again, as I said, it depends on the context. The organization. Payroll, bonus. This is payroll, again, sometimes it's under finance. And in some companies, they don't just have finance, they have finance and administration. See, so these two are combined. Or sometimes it's HR and finance. Depends on the context of the company or the organization. See, there's no one answer. It can be 8. So from 4, we can break it down into 8 HR functions. So this company or these people they broke it down into 8. See? Because in their context, they needed 8. Recruitment and selection, training and development, company brand and culture, safety and health, performance management, succession planning, compensation benefits, and compliance and legal. Because you have a lot of compliances, Pag-ibig, SSS, DOLE, PIR, a lot of government rules and regulations that must be complied with. If you are ISO certified, you must comply with ISO standards. It's also compliance, right? So, compliance and legal. You must have heard also of the 8R functions. They just wanted to call them names that started with R. So from recruiting, resonating, rewarding, routing, reviewing, retooling, recycling, and retaining. Again, this is one framework, but of course it's not broken down. So I would like to juxtapose with the first one I presented earlier. So you see, where's recruiting? Recruiting is here in sourcing. Where's resonating? Resonating is here in aligning. This is enculturation. Rewarding is in reward. So where's routing? Routing is part of the learning and development and even aligning. See, the promotion and the routing. Reviewing is performance management, right? Which should be part of the reward system. Reward system is based on performance evaluations. Retooling is retraining. Retooling is part of learning and development. Okay? Recycling is part of, again, learning, development, and movement of people. When you have to retool them and give them a new job and you have to recycle them. This can be also called rotation. In transnational, recycling was called rotation. You are rotated to higher positions in other member companies. See, that's part of your growth and development. And of course, retaining is here. Retention, one of the guiding principles: competence, retention, diversity, and engagement. You see, so all of this, they go together. But for me, itong pinakamarami, 10 functions of HR management, which are basically broken down into 2 types of functions. These are managerial and operational. So this is where some get confused because they only look at the operational side. See, we've been talking about the operational side. What about the managerial side? Because HR, that's why you call an HR manager. So you're a manager. You have a managerial function also. And of course, the basic functions of management is POLC. For those who know, POLC is planning, organizing, leading, controlling, right? So, since time immemorial, that has been the POLC of management. But here we apply it managerial, the managerial aspects or functions of being a manager are planning, of course, HR planning and planning all the projects, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Controlling is monitoring and controlling, fixing, no, even the reviews and corrections and improvements. It's part of controlling the results, controlling the results, and controlling the processes, right? So not just the people, because it's the people who do the processes and deliver the results. But you have to control also. You monitor the results. You don't just monitor the people. So you do both, right? So it's part of the control. And this is the operational side, which is more familiar with HR practitioners. Procuring, which is the recruitment, recruitment and selection. Developing, which is the training and development. Compensating, reward system, compensation, rewards and recognition. Integrating, this is the resonating, this is the enculturation, building of values and corporate culture, integrating, and engagement, employee engagement. And of course, maintaining, retention, maintaining even the competitiveness of people, maintaining their employment, maintaining their efficiency and effectiveness, so maintaining or even employee retention. See? So these are 10 functions broken down into managerial and operational. And you do both when you're an HR head. You do both. So you have 10. So this is the breakdown of the operational sides. And this is what many HR practitioners are more familiar of. Because this is what they do from day to day, week to week. So the procurement, again, this is broken down. Job analysis, recruitment, selection, placement, onboarding, transfer, rotation, promotion. Developing, this is training and development, performance. Appraisal, training, career pathing or career planning, development, transition plan. Compensation, rewards and recognition, evaluation, salaries and wages, incentives and bonuses, of course, payroll, salaries and wages. And integrating, motivation, even grievance, discipline, and labor relations. Others, they even have, they assign this to legal because they have a legal manager or a legal counsel. So labor relations handled by the legal. So they have an industrial manager or industrial relations manager. So again, as I say, it depends on the context of the organization. So maintaining is maintenance. Usually this is admin, health and safety, risk management, social security, field health, welfare, record keeping, 201 files, records management, etc. Right? So these are the operational functions of HR management. So we go back. So these are the operational side, right? But you have to also always remember the managerial side. So how do the 10 functions compare with our source, align, learn, and reward? So you see again, they're almost the same. It's not like just a different picture, but they are almost the same in terms of content, okay, or in terms of the functions. So where is planning? Or there is planning here, workforce planning, succession management, succession planning. Where's the organizing? Of course, you have to organize. No? Align, source, organize. Directing, you have to direct the people here, especially in their training and development. And control, you have to control everything here. So, procuring is here, recruiting. Developing is here, learn and develop. Compensating here, reward. Integrating is here, in the professional development and leadership development. And maintaining is here, retention. So you see, they're all there. And they're similar. So for me, what works best is we learn everything, we learn all this, And then we apply them to the context of our own organization. So as you see here, the HRM head may have so many other roles. So there can be an administration manager under him or her, because administration is about, if you have a canteen, you have a clinic, a medical, you have transport, employee transport, public relations, and legal. Sometimes legal is a support group, because sometimes this is outsourced. See, you have retainer lawyers. This is outsourced. Again, talking about outsourcing, you can actually outsource some of these functions. See, the theory there is, if others can do it better and more efficiently, then why not outsource? Then why not just concentrate on the things that we do best? So there's an HRD manager here, right? So it should be usually in charge of training and development, counseling, and innovation. But talking about training and development, in the companies I work with, training is a separate department. There's a separate training department. There's a separate HR department, because the expertise, the competencies are different. There's a very good HR manager in terms of the others, recruitment, counseling, and taking care of employees. But some HR managers, they're not good in training. They're not even good in public speaking, or they're afraid. So that's why they delegate, or they get another trainer, or there's another training manager. So you see, it depends on the context, and also on the resources, the talents of the organization. Okay, whatever is more effective in the achievement of the UBGs. There you go. The structure of your HRM division or department must be the best fit that will contribute the most to the achievement of the UBGs. Right? So you see the relationship. And then if you do that, you become strategic. So that's why people talk about strategic HR. You are strategic if you are contributing to the attainment of the UBGs. You see? Strategic. Because the UBGs are the strategic priorities of your organization. See? So you have to align. And if you are aligned with the strategic priorities of the organization, then you are strategic. See? All right. So some, they still have this personnel manager, although some people hate the word personnel manager. They say people manager. Fine. But whatever you call them, as I said, what are the functions? And are they effectively doing the functions? So here, personnel or people manager will be about recruitment, job analysis, compensation, orientation, onboarding. See? And here, there's an industrial relations manager for the welfare, grievance, especially if the company is unionized. I once worked with a company with a union. So, but we didn't have an industrial relations manager. It was the personnel manager. They had a personnel manager which handled the negotiation with the union, with the help of a lawyer, with a legal retainer. So it depends on the context. Not all companies are unionized, but there are companies that are unionized. Okay, so you have to bear all these things in mind. Okay, now going to line managers. Line managers, as I said, are the managers in the line, the front lines dealing with customers, and in the production lines, service lines, delivering products and services, or even manufacturing or making the products or delivering the services. These are the line managers. They are there in the lines, doing engage with product lines, manufacturing lines, assembly lines, and front line, dealing with customers directly, clients, customers. Who's doing client calls? Those are line people. All right. So they have also HR responsibilities. One, place the right person on the right job. Two, orient new employees assigned to you. as a line manager. Ito oriented. What do you do in this unit or in this division? Train employees in new tasks. Okay? So you don't only train new employees, but you also train old employees in new tasks or in improved tasks, improved systems, updated systems. So you improve the job performance of the employees, your team members, and the improve of the division. And if you improve the job performance of your people, you improve the job performance of the whole company. You contribute to that. Develop cooperation and smooth relationships. You see, you must have cooperation, unity. We've been talking about unity and synergy in your unit, okay? In your team. So some people call it SBUs, strategic business units. Some call it team. It's my team. Okay? So depends. Many ways of calling them. But you have to develop not only the smooth relationship, but also the abilities of each and every team member. The emphasis here is on the each and everyone. That's one of the pillars of TQM, right? Keep everyone involved and train properly. So there is that total concept. That's why it's TQM. There's a total. Everyone, every task, every improvement. So there's a totality in it. There's a total touch in it, all inclusive. Then you have, of course, to control labor costs. And why? Of course, you know what? This is directly related to profitability, right? If you control labor costs, you are contributing to profitability, which is one of the UBGs. Then you have to interpret policies, and because you are on the ground, they call it when you're on the ground. So you have to be the one interpreting. You cannot call the HR people all the time. Hey, please explain the no, because you're already the leader there. You're maybe the supervisor or the line supervisor or line manager. It's your responsibility to interpret and even to discuss and make everyone know of the policies and SOPs of the company. Create and boost team morale. So this is related to number 5. You have smooth relationship, but it is also the team morale. Part of leadership is rallying the troops. See? I say leaders must lead by example, must express the aspirations of the groups, must achieve the goals of the group, and must rally the troops and nurture unity. Those are the 5 key elements of leadership. And protect employees' health, safety, physical, especially now during the pandemic. So this one is highlighted, protecting, taking care of employees' health and safety. This has been really highlighted during the pandemic. But of course, say, sir, line managers, isn't that HR? Of course, that's part of it, because these are HR responsibilities. So HR can be the one in the head office or the support group doing this, but the line managers must do it on the ground, on the lines, right? So I just added this for those who are, interested. Of course, when you are strategic, you look at the future. Strategic means future. Strategic is not past. It's not even present. If you're talking of the present, you're not being strategic. You're being tactical. You're being tactical. You are not strategic. You're talking of future. So that's why let's think about the future. What are the future of age? So enablers, mindset, focus, and lens. So I copied this for you so that it's easier to read. First, focus. What's the focus of HR? In the future. Although some say, hey sir, that's already happening. Yeah, but there's still a future for this, on empowerment. So as I usually say, the 3 T's of empowerment are training, tools, and trust. Those are three P's of empowerment. If you don't have one of them, you don't have empowerment. Right? So you have employee engagement, workforce-centered design, the employee experience. So now HR managers, I want to give the best employee experience. I say, yes, yes, I also want that. But please don't forget the other side. And sir, what's the other side? Achieving the UBGs. You may have the best employee experience, but if you are not achieving your business goals, as one CEO once said, hey, I like all your reports about your employee morale and all that, but I'm not seeing the results. How do you translate all those into results? Okay, so personalization. So that's the personalization, HR personalization. That's also part of it. Second is mindset. Mindset. So what are the things under mindset? Constant disruption, so especially now, people talk of the VUCA world. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and VUCA. What's the A? The ambiguous. Right? So constant disruption, especially now during the pandemic. So there's disruption. There's disruption. And a lot of disruptions going on. As I said earlier, speed is now agility. So this is also a whole concept of agility. How do you apply agility in business? Especially even in HR, agility. The sense of urgency, the quickness, the quick response. So this has been tested actually in the present. Has your HR been quick in responding to the pandemic? It's part of agility actually. So unlearning and relearning, collaboration, intentional collaboration, collaboration among employees and collaboration among divisions, collaboration among member companies. So this is also part of quality. When you have quality improvement groups, can be through collaboration. Okay, so this is the improvement, continual improvement or continual innovation. Okay, so that's Kaizen. This is TQM and ISO, continual innovation. But there's a future to that. So how will it be in the future? The third one is the lens. Communities of expertise, empowered leaders. So these are already the results going forward. We all need empowered leaders in the future. That's what we're saying. We need networks, agile, quick response teams. We need strategic aging in the future. Work reimagine. And then the enablers, of course, are the advanced analytics, the apps and solutions. This is IT, right? IT and communications, ITC. So cloud, other platforms, robotic process automation, cognitive and artificial intelligence. So these are the enablers, and these are the words for the future, trends for the future. Right? So for those only who are interested in HRM trends and future demands, these are enablers, lens, the focus, and the minds. So we go back. So HR management is both a science and an art, as I mentioned. And it is situational, therefore, relative, strategic. And it depends on what we call the context of the organization. And you may ask, oh, what are the parts of the context? This includes financial, environmental analysis, SWOT analysis, expectations, stakeholders, the vision, mission, values, culture, and the strategic business plan. That's why we all need these elements for the context of the organization. So the main purpose, as we said, is to take good care of your people so that they take good care of the organization. Oh, this is my advertisement already. So can I plug already, Chris, or later on?
Sure.
So
Sure.
this is mine. All right, let's plug now before the question and answer. So these are, as I said, you were asking what are the webinars coming soon. You see, a client asked for the meaning of life, living a meaningful life in this pandemic. So I'll be doing 2 batches of this. The values of sportsmanship. This is really for the, the athletes, and games and amusement board. And we have the leader said about leadership. So my topic will be character and leadership. Competence is not enough. So going beyond competence. I'll be doing this with Southeast Asia. Then strategic planning in May. So this is in May. Strategic planning crisis. This will be the third public run already of strategic planning. Okay, so that's it. So I will now stop sharing and go to the open forum.
Yeah, so what I liked about this presentation is you outlined the functions, okay, vis-a-vis, there are several frameworks for operating HR. That's why it's important to review it because a lot of HR managers are getting confused already, okay, because they've been attending seminars and webinars, okay, and they don't know, okay, so when you say crisis management, what happens, okay, what's the framework, and etc etc. My question is, there is a school of thought that always says that if a if a company is a certain size, you only need one or two HR people. But really, how do you determine the number of people in an HR department, Conrad?
The quick answer to that is determined by the management team. It's not just by HR, right? So it's determined by the team. I've always believed in teamwork, and I've always, great things are not done by a great person.
Mm.
Great things are done by a great team led by a great person. See, so yes, you look, because people are just looking at the
Mm-hmm.
great leader, but he has a great
Mm-hmm.
team, you know. So you need the great team. It's always, I said in the corporate world for 27 years, and I've been in as a management, I as a consultant for 10 years. And, so I've dealt with so many companies already, especially during my time as a management
Mm-hmm.
advisor and consultant. I've had clients, small, big, medium, and government agencies, and private, and foundations, all sorts. You
Mm.
need a team. You need a team. Even in a crisis. What's the first thing you should do? Form a crisis team, a crisis management team. You cannot do everything. Even when, I was when SARS hit, I was still employed, I was still an executive. I was made the SARS chief of the group. I could not do everything. There were 10,000, there were six divisions. Again, I had to coordinate with the division presidents and form a team. How will we face this
Mm-hmm.
SARS? Now it's the same with how do we face this COVID. No one person can do it. I'm telling
Yes.
you. You need a team, and the team must be cohesive and competent and reliable. And if you have a competent, reliable, cohesive team, wow, you got it. The first hurdle is overcome.
So thank you for saying that, Conrad, again, okay? Because, I'm
Yes.
just reacting because this is actually this scenario that we're facing this year. Let's just take two, okay? It's cliche as it may seem, but because we don't want our community members who are HR practitioners facing the same problems all over again. Kasi ginawa silang all around. Okay? So na-stress sila masyado. And yes, so they became the all around person. And now, okay, we have
You take the initiative, if they make you all around, well, it's time to shine, sabi nga, no? But when if it's the time to shine, but you have to involve
correct.
the key people. Again, this is a total organizational involvement. Eh. Kung magaling ka, if they're now giving you this challenge, oy, magaling ka, ha? You be the COVID chief. Fine. So, as I, even if they made me the COVID chief, what's the first thing I'll do? I'll form the A team, you know, form the best COVID response team that you can have. That's why you should be knowledgeable in your talent pool. Sino magagaling dyan? Sino magagaling dyan? And then, they are committed, they are quick, they are accountable, they are reliable, and they are competent. Magaling din. And these are no-nonsense guys, and they are action-oriented. Once you plan, you implement. And you implement. And also, if you have a team, you get a full spectrum of ideas. And you're not just talking about from your point of view. No, no, you listen. You have to have empathy first. Just listen first. Seek first to understand. Seek first to understand. Then, have the team understand everyone. Then, you have an action plan. Action plans. And, of course, there's even a division of labor. Action plans, you have key results. You have key results to be delivered. And there must be a key person to deliver that result. But you may still be the head. Yeah, you coordinate everything. And why are you there as the head? You may see to it that each and everyone is delivering. If somebody is not delivering, you have to backstop him. You have to help him or her. You know, and everybody must help, right? Because we need to do. Let's say you have 30 action plans. You have to do that 30 action plans. You cannot just say, hey, we're just here, we'll just do the top 10. Oh my God. No.
This is a serious matter, and you cannot
Yes,
just streamline
you
it.
cannot, yeah, you have to. Now, if you have to add, then this is where your persuasive skills must come in also, right? And do they have the trust and confidence in you? Because if they have your trust and confidence, it's easy. Sir, we need more. We need more budget. Because
Yes.
these are our action plans. We gonna purchase face masks and face shields. Hey, we cannot just do that. You have to give me budget for that. We have 1,000 employees, and let's say a face mask is 10 pesos. Oh, we need right away 10,000 pesos. You know, or no. You know what I'm saying? You must be able, and of course, if you can also show the data and the analysis and the action plans to those who have to, they will have their confidence in you. Hey, pinag-aralan niya talaga yan. And he has a team which did that. He did not do it alone. He has a great team. He has very great leaders. But you just have to be like the conductor. That's why they say sometimes a leader is a conductor. Not even just the conductor, but you have a very great pianist, you have a very great musical, singer, you have a very great violinist. You know what? You have to conduct everything. You are the
Yes.
head, right?
So this is actually because we've conducted a series of revisits already, Conrad. And
Yeah,
Ken,
yeah.
do we have some questions from our viewers?
Yeah, wala pa
Ito
naman.
na.
Yeah,
Ito
all
na.
O
good.
tahimik
All good.
sila, Mr.
Natakot,
Fave.
natakot.
my
Sabi
last
na, very clear, very clear. So no more questions.
No more questions. Okay, but so for this one, okay, for moving forward, okay, so you mentioned about okay the trends in HR, and that's where technology comes in. But for you're used to a lot of big companies, but how about for small companies, Conrad? How can they thrive during this pandemic? What do you think?
Okay. Parang basic, right? You have to go to
Mm,
the basic. These are small company. First of all, they have to confront what I call the right questions. They must do like quick strategic planning with their managing team. So as I said, okay, there's a problem now. There's COVID. There's a pandemic. What do we do now? How do we adjust? So it's the team which will talk. They will plan. So that's the first. They have to plan. They have to discuss among themselves, right? get all the ideas.
Mm.
And then, once they get all the ideas, so this will be our strategic priorities.
Yes,
This is now
prioritize.
their priorities. Yeah, prioritize. Because you don't have limitless resources and you don't have limitless time. You're now, you must have that sense of urgency now, right? Do that. First, that's the first habit. Put first things first. Right? Put first things first. If the first thing is to tell your employees, hey, everybody, stay home. That's the first thing. That should be the first directive. And then, second, hey, let's now help each other find the resources to work from home. You know? Okay. And then, I'm just simulating it now, right? Parang kunwari, there's a team talking. Those
Yes.
are the priorities now. Hey, we don't like our employees to be getting sick. Can somebody give them vitamins? Okay.
Yes.
Third, let's give them vitamins. Let's, let's see what we can do. Do we have enough funds? If we don't have enough, if we cannot give 2,000 worth, maybe we can give just 1,000 or 500 worth. That's what we can afford. But let's give them because we are identifying it as a priority.
Yes.
There must be an action. That's why it's called an action plan.
You
It's
cannot
not
be
just a
frozen
plan.
with fear and worry. You just have to
Yeah,
act
yeah.
on it.
And you must have a team. I said that the team is very important because you cannot think of everything. You may be the best, yeah, but okay, bigay na ako. You can think of the first 10. But what about the 20 and the 30? You know? Your team will contribute that. Right? So you have to listen. That's why empathy is very important for a leader. Empathy. Listen first. That's habit number 5. Seek first to understand. And to be understood. You get them. Yeah, And if you are connected, we even do this. If you are connected by internet or what, even ask everybody.
Mm.
Hey, everybody who is receiving this email, can you give us your
A suggestion.
concerns and your suggestions? And somebody will tabulate them or work on them. And it's your team which will tabulate them and work on them. Because, of course, there will be some unreasonable demands. Why don't you give us all a car, so that we can... No, you cannot afford that. But you have to sift through the suggestions also. So it's the team which will do that, which are the valid ones, and which are the reasonable ones, and which are the urgent ones, and the important ones, right? Important first before the urgent, or both important and urgent. Right? So you have to have the team to do that. And you see, that's where the competence comes in. Where people are competent, they know what they are doing. They know how to face and handle a crisis. See?
So, to our viewers, okay, Conrad just gave you how to handle your brainstorming meetings.
Yeah, you have to. Yes, you just have. Because you say, sir, this is the best we can. Yeah, because that's what your team do your best. If that's
Mm.
what you can do, and it's not what is within your resources, just do it. Because it's an action plan, and an action plan has what to do, a deadline or a time frame, and a person responsible or answerable for that action plan.
That's
Mana?
it. Uh,
Yeah,
so,
you
hi.
wanna?
Mhm. So, George, do you have additional questions? Or Ken, do you have additional questions for Conrad to answer?
Yeah, actually apologies na naputol yung internet ko. Actually, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Conrad. I really like the presentation.
Yeah, yung in regards dun nga sa leaders, sobrang important nga lahat 'yon. Kasi kumbaga um yung leaders yung nagse-set ng culture, 'di ba? Yung napag-usapan nga kanina, I was listening eh. So, eto for the people who are watching right now, do please check nyo yung page ni Conrad. Ang dami ng upcoming events and sobrang marami kayong matututunan. Like, ngayon, sobrang kita nyo yung passion, kita nyo yung knowledge ni Conrad dito. So, again, ang dami natin matutulungan dun sa knowledge din na sinishare ni Conrad. Kaya, yeah.
Oh, actually, kulang ang 1 hour or
Oo, yeah.
1.5 hours, okay?
Mm.
But we had just experienced a crash course, and actually we really
Seriously.
wanted to have we invited Conrad because we really wanted to simulate. Okay, so he did the simulation on how you should conduct your crisis meetings.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
because a lot of our HR
yeah.
managers need help on that, and also the
There must
HR
there,
office.
there must be a head, you know. There must be a head. Of course, any team has a head, but it has members, and the members should have leadership also. They are competent, reliable. As I told you, because my mindset is we should be like the Spartans. You know, the Spartans always prepared, or like the Boy Scouts, always prepared. So dapat sana ngayong before the pandemic, dapat may mga na-train na magagaling na leaders, and you know, and when things like this come, you just get them all together.
Mhm.
And then these are the leaders of the organization. And then syempre, among the leaders, there's the tinatawag na primus inter pares, right? The leader of the leaders. Okay, if it's given to you, then say thank you actually. But for me, leadership is a choice. If you think there's a better leader, you better decline. Sir, with due respect, I like the honor, but I think Dr. So-and-so will be better. And magagaling naman tayo lahat eh. But he's a doctor.
Mm-mm.
Let's make him the... I will be the assistant. Ayan, sasabi mo gano'n. I will be the assistant. Ayan. Ayan. Sige, di ba? Because it's a choice, because leadership is not easy.
Yes.
Leadership is not easy.
And usually itong mga crisis committee teams na to, these are ad hoc teams, 'di ba?
Yeah,
They're
ad hoc pa yan.
mm-mm.
But if depende nga sa CEO. Kasi kung CEO din is, talagang magaling, siya na yung leader, de facto. Di ba? De facto leader siya.
Eh siya na
Di
yung
ba?
may-ari, siya na yung
Siya na may-ari o siya na, de facto siya na leader.
Oo.
But ito yung sabi ko, pero kung ang tingin din, which may happen, ang tingin din ng may-ari is mas magaling talaga sa kanya yung HR manager. And then, so be it. If you're the HR head and they make you, accept it. And then, tingin mo naman, kaya ko naman yan. At saka yan, magagawa ako para sa kumpanya. Because you don't only look at your promotion, you look at your personal achievement.
Yes.
Which you will tell to your children. Alam mo, anak, alam mo ako, sinave ko yung organization na yun. Max naman. So, kailangan ka, kapag sa TQM, may ISO, kailangan may konting documentation ka, ha? Ipakita mo sa
Para
ka sa bume.
ma-document. But
Pa-document, para naman din, ang ganda ka naman ng kwento mo tayo, na lolo. may picture ka ba dyan? Nagli. Wala ka man lang mapakitang picture. Wala ka man lang documentation. O wala ka man lang recognition, wala lang award. That's where the documentation. In ISO, we don't call them documents anymore. You don't have record management anymore in ISO. You have documented information management. Because information now is not just papers, it's not just records or document. No, it can be video, pictures, social media. These are all documented information. So you can all show this, or even the awards. Because these are documented information. You can show it as a proof of what you did or what you achieved. You see? These are proofs, evidences. These are all documented information. That's why record management, pag sinabi, sir, can you teach us record management? Sorry, I don't teach it anymore. I teach documented information management.
and this is important because actually this one is unprecedented, okay? It's first time in history, okay? So how your company is reacting
Yeah.
to it, okay? Kailangan meron kayong parang documents or steps or processes that has been recorded para knock on wood baka maulit na naman, babalikan ninyo.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yun na yung organizational knowledge. Knowledge
Opo.
management. That's part of ISO, knowledge management.
Yun. So, wow. So, Ken, any additional reactions or questions?
Yup, all
Wala
good.
na yung
all good.
usok mo, Ken, ah.
Oo, siyempre. HR shots, yung
Okay,
YouTube.
official, official.
Oh,
Hindi. Okay, so
Okay.
actually, thank you, Conrad. Okay, any final words for
You're
me?
most welcome. Final words, siguro on leadership, ano? Because I see HR people as HR leaders. And this is the best. Because HR is about people. Become leaders of people. You know, the hardest resource to manage, di ba? People. So if you can manage and lead people, wow, you're a great leader. You
Very
can be the
unpredictable.
you can be the CEO. I really think so.
You can be the CEO, you can be the Supremo, you can be
Yeah,
Optimus
yeah.
Prime. Wag lang si ano.
The primus inter pares.
Hindi, ako kasi ang tawag ko, yan, that's the Latin word.
Optimus
But
Prime.
Optimus Prime. Okay. And
That's right.
for our viewers right now, you can just post your questions or can send us your questions. And don't forget, okay, you can go to Conrad's page, okay, to see his upcoming webinars. So there are four that he posted. And Mr. Conrad, Mr. Fave, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
madali lang naman yung konto Facebook ko kasi Conrad Favorito. And
Oh,
my Gmail, my mail is just mrfave@gmail.com. So madaling tandaan. Basta Mr.
madali lang.
Fave.
And then it's actually your contact information is also on our page.
Ah,
So
okay. Thank you very
Pe-
much.
yeah, so people can get in touch with you, reach out to you after this webinar. Okay, so yeah, so we have the presentation, and actually, okay, a lot of our HR communities or community members, okay, they've actually been asking this question, and we actually went on a series of basic revisiting of HR principles and framework, okay, as early as 2 weeks ago. And right now, okay, I hope that you continue to watch our FB Live series, okay? And tomorrow, okay, since we have HR, we're going to deal with our advocacy, okay, on mental health. And we have
Ay, nice.
Dr. Carlita Degula, okay, so dealing with loss and grief during this collective uncertain times, okay, so that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. And our bonus FB Live, okay, and these are people who are transitioning. We have on March 29 at 7 p.m.
Hey,
How
can
to
I, sorry, I forgot. I just saw my books. Can I plug my books also?
Yes,
No?
sure, but I'm just plugging our Monday
Ah, yeah,
webinar.
okay, okay. All
So
right.
on Monday, we are going to have how to really start your business with
Okay.
Mommy N, Mirna Tam Natividad, and that's at 7 p.m.
Ah, si
So,
Mirna. I know her.
yes, actually I mentioned that you were our guest tonight, and then she said that, oh, magaling yan si Mr. Fave.
Yeah, mga kaibigan natin yan. Vivian, Mirna, all of them.
Okay, Conrad,
So,
you have your books?
yeah. I just plug my book kasi I've been moving.
Yeah.
So, these are my books. I have four. The first one was My Favorite Fables. All right. These are fables that will help you be effective in life, the life lessons. And then my second one was Wonderful Habits for a Wonderful Life. You want a wonderful life? Read this book. The third one is your Dreams and Legacy. It's about attaining your dreams and achieving your legacy. These are lessons to do that. And this is the life book. It's about values, life in terms of love, integrity, friendship, and excellence. Yes, those are my books. I call them the Fave books.
Well,
Okay,
we've
so
been giving that away as our freebies, okay, except that for this week, since we are anticipating some news on ECQ, we are actually suspending it in the meantime. And once normal, well, once the ECQ or whatever it will be announced is lifted, then we will resume. Okay, we have actually
sure.
two of those books, okay, on hand. But, well,
Okay.
hindi sila nagtanong eh, so walang freebie. And Anyway, so
So yeah,
as you
I can if they buy the full box, I can send it to them with free delivery
yes.
in NCR, Metro Manila.
Okay, so we'll take
Uh,
note of that, Conrad. And in the
okay.
meantime, so I think George again is, well, his best friend in the internet service is actually still acting up. So
Yeah.
I think he's not gone again.
No,
Hindi.
no, I'm here, I'm
Nandiyan,
here.
nandiyan, nandiyan, nandiyan.
He's there. He's
Nakabalik,
there.
nakabalik.
So
Kaso lang, hindi
George,
ako makapag-camera.
sure. So
Okay. All right.
any
Yeah.
upcoming webinars, George?
Actually, I'd like to invite everyone. I think we posted it the other day. No,
Mm.
we've partnered with the Textival, no, the International Textival, HR Textival. It's exclusive for all HR Shouts and Whisper members. Uh, we're
Wow.
given 1,000 slots eh. So nako, take advantage 'yun. Maganda 'yun kasi it's international yung mga guests natin with the partner. And then ang dami doon. OC Tanner is there, IBM, tayo is there, AmCham is there. Jonathan Luceriaga of IT of PSIA is also there. Kathy Ileto of IT BPAP will also be there. So maganda yung program, no. So more than anything, it's about technology and HR and how you can make it more purposeful and meaningful right now, no. So yeah, I know we're good in that in that respect of getting yung slots nga. So yun, yung mga members natin, let's invite them and please sign up. We have 1 week pa naman to sign up. So yun, yun lang yung parang pinaka-announcement na nakita ko.
Yes,
Mm.
I've already
Okay.
signed up, George. Okay, I was one of the first to sign up.
No, okay yan.
uh,
Kaya
and
nga, sign
it's
up din
on.
ako.
Yes,
Nice, oo.
it's actually on our page. I'll just browse through our page. Ang dami kasing announcements sa page natin. Okay, so they're all from our content partners.
I-click ko yan.
Yes, but definitely, okay, so I will just browse through it and share my screen. So if you've seen the announcement, this is the announcement from the Advanced
Yun.
Textival 2021.
Advance.
Yes,
Textival. Ayun, 1,000 free passes, oh. Yeah.
yes. So register now. So there's a link. Okay, so we one of the first. Okay, there's 1,000 slots for HR Shouts community members.
Mm.
So there.
Okay.
So anyhow, okay, so it's been productive once again. It's a productive night. And I'm sure lahat tayo nagugutom na for dinner. And also to our members, okay, so um, you
Wala
can
tayong
watch.
picture taking.
So actually, we can have after this. Okay, we will
Yeah.
just.
All right.
But anyhow, okay, our community members, what we can do is, you can actually watch the replay because some of them have just finished dinner or whatever their errands. Okay, they can just watch the replay on this page. So in the meantime, okay, it's a temporary goodbye. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the evening. And tomorrow, we are back at 3 p.m. with Dr. Carlita Degula for her webinar on dealing with loss and grief in this collective uncertain time.